Hi everyone, Lisa here from Forest City Stitching. I hope everyone had a good week. I will start off with, if this video ends abruptly, it is because it started to rain. Hopefully it doesn't. All day it's been looking like rain. We did go out for some ice cream this afternoon, and just about 30 minutes out of town, and it was raining there, but we were able to sit in the back of our SUV with the door up and it was fine. But that was the only bit of rain that we got today. And yeah, so I just had a message pop up there actually from Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts. She just announced the pricing for the Jacob Palooza stitch retreat for next October. So I had just sent her a message about something there. So if you haven't been aware of that, Jacob from Modern Folk Embroider is coming here to London, Ontario for a stitching retreat for 2 weekends in October 2023. So check out Caroline's videos on Off the Grid Needle Arts for more information. And there is a Facebook page called Jacob Palooza that you can get some more information on. So I believe registration goes on sale as of August 5th. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, so back to before I got distracted. Yes, we went out for some ice cream and it was raining at that point, but then it stopped. Rain never made it here, really, to London. Then we went out for dinner and we decided to sit on the patio because it looked like, well, this. Oh, did I just feel a raindrop? It looked like this all day, and we figured we could beat the rain. It did start to spit a tiny bit, but we didn't have to move inside or anything like that. So that's how the day has been. Yeah, my week, nothing too exciting for the week. For the weekend, I did have a 5K race on Friday night. It was very slow. It wasn't as hot as usually it is for this particular race, but it was hot enough. The last part of the race is all uphill, so it is a difficult race. Yeah, so wasn't terrible, but I completed it, so that's the main part. And then my son did the kitty trot as well, so he did very well. So it was really nice to get out in an event again. So that was nice. I was supposed to go for a longer run today. I had a terrible time trying to get myself out of bed. Just really tired today. I did get myself out of bed, did make it down to the park. Didn't really have the oomph in me for the 12 kilometers I was supposed to do. I ended up walking 4 kilometers. So at least I did something. Not what I wanted, but I did something. And then this afternoon we did a little bit of shopping as well. So yeah, that's how our weekend went. All right. So the tea that I have is a maple oolong, which it's quite yummy, and it is from the Sweet Indulgence collection, sampler collection from David's Tea. Yeah, and I just thought I felt something, another raindrop, but I would see it on my glass table if that was the case. Yeah, so the maple oolong is a tea that I do like. I do typically mix it with the salted caramel oolong, so I do have a tin of those two mixed. Yeah, so I knew I was gonna like this tea. I did have some questions on last week's video. Thank you very much for everyone that posed a question. I greatly appreciate it. I like having the back and forth whenever possible. So if there are any questions, definitely leave them in the comment box below. And of course, thanks everyone for your comments anyway. One question was, what was the going rate for the tooth fairy? Because I mentioned my son had lost a tooth and the tooth fairy came to visit. So I don't know how accurate this is, but the tooth fairy this time paid $5. For the first tooth he lost, it was 10. He seems to think it was 20, but it wasn't. So it was $5 for this last tooth. So I don't know how accurate that is for other areas that the tooth fairy may visit. But when I was kind of surveying moms around there when he lost his first tooth, I think that was kind of in line. So yes, the tooth fairy has, I don't know, I guess invested well, and is able to pay a little bit more out these days. Yeah. So as long as the teeth fall out slowly, then I think the tooth fairy will be fine. And then I had some questions from Deanne. They're on YouTube. Boy. Yeah, and so she asked just a little bit more clarification on what Uno was. So Uno is through Semi-Sane Stitchers, and so there is a monthly challenge that they're doing, that you pick 4 whips, and then the wheel is spun each day to determine which card is drawn. So that is where Uno is coming from, and we'll talk a little bit more about that because we've got some good progress on the whips. She asked if I prefer Aida or linen. I would say I definitely prefer Aida. I probably can count on one hand how many projects I have on linen, which is not very many. And does it depend on the chart which one I use for which? So I only really started using linen probably within the last year or so, when it came to some of the kits that Carolina had put together from Evertoe. Usually it's a modern folk embroidery piece that's included. Yeah, so that's where I kind of started to try out the linen. I think my first one was probably Mary Harry. I think it was the first linen piece. I think so. But yeah, so I don't have a lot on linen, and it's typically a one-off or a special case if I'm using a linen, and it's typically driven by Caroline's suggestion. So and then she asked why stitch Prairie Schoolers. So I had mentioned about Prairie Schooler Santas, and that, you know, on Flosstube here, it seems to be that the consensus is you should always have a Prairie Schooler on the go, especially a Santa. Yeah, that just seems to be a commonality for a lot of Flosstubers. It is a popular designer, and a lot of people really do like the Prairie Schoolers. Not that I don't like them, and I like the finished product, but I don't know, I think it's the subdued colors that maybe make it a little bit harder for me to get into stitching. Last year for Christmas, 2 years ago for Christmas, I did stitch a bunch of the Prairie Schooler alphabets for teachers, and those stitched up pretty quickly, and I didn't mind stitching those. So yeah, it's just not something I'm drawn to complete. And looking at all my whips, I'm not drawn to complete many very quickly, right? So, or I wouldn't have so many different whips, I guess. So thank you again for the questions. Appreciate that. All right, so let's get into stitching. 9 minutes in, and we haven't seen any stitching, so that's very odd for me. Is the rain gonna hold out? Hope so. All right, so I got a lot of stuff here in front of me. Let's start with all right. So again, the 4 whips that have been chosen for Uno are Feline Love, Cinnamon Stars, Jack Frost Tree Farm, and Snow Village. So I worked on those multiple times, but I'm only going to show them once here. Oh, and also there is Christmas in July and No New Starts, where you can send like Christmas cards and Christmas gifts to people. And so I'm able to get my 100 stitches in and kind of add that to some of the challenges. So this is Jack Frost Tree Farm. I mainly worked on adding these trees up here. I did add some white and that door to the house. I did go to Stitch It Central to look for some more wagon wheel because I want to get a new skein of wagon wheel to finish the house and keep the other skein that I'm using to finish those borders that I need just to remain consistent. But there is no wagon wheel. She didn't have any. Oh, and this magnet is stuck. So, yeah. I don't know if I'll go on to like 1, 2, 3 stitch or something and take a look. I see what I did. I jammed this all into the little baggie before. That's not what I usually do. And that magnet's stuck again. And then Feline Love. Again, I don't have a cover photo for this. Yeah, so I worked on the cat a bit. I think I worked back down here a bit more. So this has got a lot of love. I think we're only 200 stitches away from the 1,000 stitches that I need for the whip though. I have no idea what that noise is. It sounds like one of those wheels that you spin, but it happens every once in a while, so I don't know what my neighbors are doing. All right, so for the 12, I stitched on Gingham Greetings, and I didn't really do a lot on it. So I think I just added in some more green there, and some white. The only colors that are on there so far. Yeah. The good thing is with this new challenge for some through No New Starts is the pieces that are being called for Jolly July, I am feeling more apt to put more stitches in. So Gingham Greetings were from Jolly July. Jack Frost was from Jolly July, as well as called for Uno, so that was, I double dipped on that one. All right, so on the 13th, I worked on 2001, the 2001 Prairie Schooler Santa. So this is the one with the animals. I just added in that brown, I think. Yeah, so not a lot. Oh, here's the, that's 2001, right? Yeah. So I like this one because I like the animals on it. That day I also worked on Feline Love. I had a lot to get caught up on that for Uno. On the 14th, now this is what I'm going to go back to and try to get a finish on so I can do a new start next weekend. I can't show you a picture because it was a freebie, but it is from Pumpkin and Pumpkin Quilting. blogspot.com. So it's Santa on a cow. It's a cow. So as you can see, I don't have too much more to get done on this one. So if I go back to that, get that done for finish, and then I'll be able to have another new start for Jolly July on the weekend. 15th, another Prairie Schooler. An easy way to show you pattern. Yeah, so that's, I worked on my hot air balloon. Again, not very much. Just up here I worked on it. But that's how that looks. Next is all dolled up. So you can really see that I went on a tea-dyed Ada kick for all these Jolly July pieces that I had started. And so I just finished the snowman there. So this one doesn't have a ton to do either. Just need to finish the border. There's a star up here. Yeah, not too much more to do there. So that was Saturday. Saturday I worked on a lot of stuff. And I also worked on cinnamon stars. Also good progress being made here. So that looks pretty good. House is almost, well, I just need to work on all that stonework on the one side. Here we saw Jack Frost Tree Farm, Snow Village. Okay, we're working on this piece here. And so for my whip go, it's to finish a section. So I'm doing pretty good. I'll almost get, you know, if this is called 1 or 2 more times, then I might have that section finished. I really don't like the fabric, stitching on that fabric. The holes are too loose. So that was the fabric that came in the kit from Fat Quarter Shop. So it is a 16 count Ada, but whatever brand it is, and I don't know what brand it is, it's really loose. That's why that one's so slow going for me, for sure. Then I worked a little bit on Christmas celebration sampler. By Frosted Pumpkin. So I have that middle block done now. Just next I want to work on some of the outline to try to get to one of the sides so I can work away on all the white that's around, so I can kind of go back and forth on that, so I'm not just left with all that white border, because that's massive. And then today I worked on Hooray, It's a Snow Day for Jolly July. Did a little bit of frogging already. Well, so I'm using the shaker white by Gas, so it's not like a true white, obviously, it's an off-white. And the one section looked really dirty. So I'm glad I picked it out and restitched it. So can't super see, there you go. So you can see them. on the tea tide. But yeah, he just looks really rustic, right? That's that one. And so that's what I finished up stitching before filming. So now it's 8 o'clock. I'd like to do a little bit more stitching tonight, but should also probably make lunches for tomorrow, so I'm not kicking myself in the morning. Today's just been a weird day. I had a couple naps just because I've just been tired. It's really humid. I think it feels like 31, like it's kind of a cool breeze right now, but like it's really humid. This morning it was 17 degrees, but felt very humid. And yeah, even though the sun really hasn't been out all day, it still got up to feeling like 31 degrees, just with the humidity. Yeah, we need rain. Luckily for us, though, it hasn't rained because our lawnmower is broken. And behind me in this flower pot was a sunflower that my son had brought home. But then the moment it started to sprout, a squirrel ate it. So now there's just a flower pot with dirt in it. But yeah. All right, now that I'm rambling, I think it's time to say goodnight, and we will see everyone in a week. And yeah, we made it. We made it without the rain. We will see if it comes soon. All right, talk to you next week, everyone. Bye.